friends, it is Comic-Con time. It's been Comic-Con time. It's been time to lock in and get these cosplays together. That's what we're doing in this video. Oh my god, I think it's in like 3 weeks. I have been low-key trying to get these cosplays together. Nothing's working out. Nothing's working out, and I'm stressed. But it's supposed to be fun. These past few years I've been trying to put the play back in cosplay, so we're gonna de-stress. Let's show you where I am at this point in time. Okay, let's show this. Picked up this dress for Claudia. I had actually bought 2 of these. Her dress is double layered, but only one has showed up so far. I thought this was going to be the outer layer since it's the bigger size. However, it's way too big, so it's going to end up being the inner layer. Hopefully the other size fits me. Otherwise, I don't know. I'll try and alter it, I guess. Then I found this fabric. It is a curtain, I believe. I was going to try and make Claudia's yellow dress out of this. However, they only had one panel at the thrift store. I picked it up just in case. They said if anything, it'll make a good mock-up fabric. But I am going to try and go to the store and find the other panel. Like, I looked at this and I was like, this is giving dollar store curtain. And I went to my local dollar store and I found the exact curtain. However, they did not have this color, so I'm gonna hit up the other dollar stores in my area and see if they have this color. If not, I'm still gonna use it as a mock-up and then just go and buy real fabric. That's not an issue. What I did like about this fabric is the color. I love this pale yellow. I love the slate sheen, and I loved the pattern on it. It's not Claudia's pattern, but it's something, which is more than I've been able to find when I've been looking for her pattern. Then we have these pants. They were for a Louis cosplay. They're generally fine. I did buy some Rit dye to try and darken them just a bit, like the lighter bits. It is also, they're a little tight. That's why I've left the tag on. I'm gonna try and see if I can thrift some better ones. If I can, then I'll return these. If I can't, we're just gonna have to rock with these. I am also trying to thrift another long trench coat because for Louis, he does wear, I believe it is Claudia's trench coat from the cosplay I wore last year, but I would need to ruin this, and I kind of don't want to ruin this. I didn't pay a lot of money for it, and I don't love it, so I wouldn't mind having to, put some fake dirt and blood on it, but I'd rather not until I, found a nice replacement, but I might have to. Oh yeah, I do have these patent leather shoes that I picked up for Claudia. They're great. However, they're too big. I thought it was just going to be too big lengthwise, so I was like, I'll just stuff them, but they're also too big widthwise. They'll work, but when I tested them out the other day, they were kind of slipping off my heel. So if I can find some better ones, I'll purchase those and donate those. But yeah, I don't have anything complete, partially complete. Yeah, so let's go. I'm headed to the store, the 99-cent store, thrift dollar store, whatever, to try and find another yellow patterned curtain. Then I'm gonna head to the thrift store. I'm thrifting for all the cosplays earlier. So that thrift trip. Do not that thrift trip Thrift trip was a bust. I didn't find anything that I needed for this cosplay, but we cannot dwell. We have to move on. So I am going to attempt to make Claudia's dress from scratch, but first we need, you can't see the cat, but he's here. Yeah, so obviously I needed that yellow fabric. That's what I went thrifting for, or shopping for. But I'm just gonna head to the fabric store tomorrow. I have one more store to check out, but I'm just gonna head to the fabric store and get some fabric. But I need to actually have a pattern to use to make the dress. So I had an old dress that was giving the general vibe of Claudia's dress, and I cut that up, and I'm going to, here's the front part. I cut it up, and I'm going to draw the pieces on some paper that I have. I do need to edit these just a tiny bit. Like, I want to add a seam in the middle of the chest piece. I need to also make it just maybe like an inch bigger. Same with the dress bit. I need to make it about maybe 2 inches longer, maybe about an inch wider. Probably add the same amount of inches to the top and to the bottom. Yeah, so we're gonna make a new pattern, and then I'm going to use some scrap fabric to make my first mock-up. I'm gonna get to drawing and cutting out, and then a little bit later transferring it to my fabric. I'm nervous. All right, so bodice paper patterns are cut out. I don't have weights. That's another thing I have to get a pattern to purchase. Tomorrow I'm gonna get some pinking shears and some pattern weights. So we're just using random items. The smoke alarm that should be on the wall, these remotes, you know, whatever, it's just around. But yeah, so I forgot to put, what is that called? Seam allowance in the paper patterns. So I have to do that when I cut out the pattern. I got my sewing machine ready to go. But yeah, I really, the top is the hardest part, honestly. The bottom is just a rectangle, so it shouldn't be difficult to put together. But let's cut this out of the fabric with seam allowance and then see what it's doing. All right, y'all, so this is what we're working with the bodice. I'll show you it off my body, but this is what it's looking like on. Now I can only show you this top half, which is like right underneath my underarm, because yeah, that's my bra. So it needs to come down way longer. The neck needs to be, the neck opening needs to be a little larger. This was like a snug fit to get over my head. This is supposed to be a V-neck. With like with center seams, so the center seams need to be like right there, and obviously the V-neck needs to come down quite a bit. Now I did use an old dress as the pattern, so I don't know how this happened. Things are, the armholes are nice and wide enough for my arms, and oddly enough, which you can't see, The back piece, let's try and show this without showing too much. The back piece is oddly good, fine. But yeah, we're gonna take this apart and see where we went wrong, because we went wrong. Okay, so we're working on the bib. It's a little flimsy, but we're gonna use some interfacing to give it a little bit of stability back there. And then move on to putting the black lace and then the white lace on the outer edge. Now it should be a little bit more like oblong instead of so circular, but I didn't look at the reference picture before I cut it out. I'm like, yeah, it's a bib, it's circle. It's not, but this will do. I don't really have any more fabric to spare, so this will do. All right, so the fusible interfacing is on there, and it's a lot more sturdy. I like that. All right, y'all, so we're doing a little update on the costumes. This is what are the costumes are looking like. I didn't put the trim on the back because screw the back. I had enough problems hand sewing and or making all of these trims. 6 layers of hand sewn trim on the top layer of the dress, another 5 on the bottom. I was not feeling the back. So for the rest of the cosplay, I need to get these sleeves white. Somehow I have fabric paint, I have color remover. We're gonna see which one wins. Oh, I do have the little bib somewhere. That's all hand sewn, handmade. It's gonna go right there. Gotta do the socks, and yeah, Baby Lulu will be finished after that. As for my other cosplays, for Elphaba, I did her hat. I was gonna purchase the Spirit Halloween one, but when I saw it in person, it sucked. So I did it myself. I purchased this fabric. I already had this butch hat, and I just sewed it on top, and I love how it came out. Like I said, I'm gonna wear my Nadja dress for the base. I'll try and get some of that fabric incorporated on the dress, either as the whole bodice or just like on these little lace bits. I do have my fabric for Claudia. I'll work on it a little bit, but I don't think that's happening for New York Comic Con. And then we have Louis, which all that needs to be done for that cosplay is distressing it. So yeah, we're making some headway, but I'm gonna try and work on these sleeves now. So this is some scrap fabric that I had from the second layer that I used for the 2 dresses, and I'm so happy because it, like I wrote, it turned purple, and I was so nervous because I'm like, oh, this is not gonna work. I ended up not having white fabric paint to paint over top of the color dress. So I was let me just try this RIT color remover, and you can see a little bit of purple there. But the RIT color remover actually ended up working very nicely. I needed about 5 boxes, so I had to go back and get more. This is results just from 1 box. So I went back to the fabric store, bought 5 more boxes because I thought I would need 1 more to get it really white. I ended up not needing 1 more for this particular test piece, but I did use 2 packets on each of the sleeves for the actual dress. Alright, so this is the actual dress down one side, and that's what it's looking like. I do like it has to dry a little bit, but so far I'm liking how it's looking. with the ombre effect. And now I tied up the rest of the dress in a bag just to not get any accidental spillage. And now I'm doing the other side, just waiting for the water to heat up so I can put in the solution. And then we're gonna try and match this side to the other side. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so the dress is out of the dye bath, anti-dye bath, and this side is still pretty wet. It just came out, but I am loving the results so far. We did get a little bit of an ombre, so that's awesome. And considering I had to do one sleeve at a time, it's pretty symmetrical. So I am so happy with that. Now, the dress is pretty much done. I have to just add the trim to the ends, sew on the bow, and I think I'm gonna just add like a strip of fabric to each side just to close up this gap a little bit, and add another strip around the back to try and keep these sleeves up because they kind of slide down, I noticed when I was wearing the dress. And yeah, that is pretty much it. All the trim is done. I might also so close this gap here. Maybe not. But yeah, I think the next update will be the final update on this dress. Alright, y'all, so we are done with Baby Lou. Got a tiny couple of pieces just to fix up, like, you know, loose strings and whatnot, but we're done. Finally, all of this trim and stuff, like I said, some had to be handmade, some, all of them had to be hand sewn because my sewing machine conked out on me. So it has been a journey. Oh my gosh. I did go a little heavy-handed with the distressing the black, but I mean, whatever. She had to live with this dress 24/7 at one point, so it was bound to get a little dirtier than what we saw. But yeah, I'm happy with this. I am gonna wear a petticoat with it. We have the socks with the extra trim on them. We're gonna do this little satin headband situation instead of a hard headband and see how that works out. But yeah, that's Baby Lou. All right, we're doing final fit checks for Baby Lou. And I think I'm gonna roll up this last trim so that you can see the second layer of blue, which is low-key annoying because, yeah, I spent so much time sewing on these things by hand. Yeah, the wig, it's a little rough at the moment. I don't have my own hair really secured down, so the wig is looking a little puffy, super oily. I can tell that this costume is gonna be hot. I spent all afternoon kind of painting these new flowers because I couldn't find these flowers. I did a makeup test for Baby Lou last year, like when the episode aired, and I couldn't find these flowers anywhere. Couldn't find the second flower anywhere, and then I found it when I was getting a different wig. So I think I like these better. So I'm gonna try last year, so it's just like a lot of blue eyeshadow around the eyes and a lot of blush and some freckles. So pretty simple makeup for baby Lou. And of course I have her contacts, and she's gonna get her fangs and nails, and that will be baby Lou. Hey y'all. So we're doing the Alphaba makeup test. I got my little king corn sponge. It's so cute. Hopefully this will work. I have my doubts, but it was too cute to not use. Excuse the tape and the plastic in the background. The bathroom is getting some work done on it, so it's looking a little hot mess. But yeah, we're working on Alphaba. I'm using my Mayron palette that I won last year. Activated paint. Probably some of this black too, but yeah, it's water activated paint. I don't really know how to use it, but we're just gonna wing it. I don't know if I should just put water in there or put water just on the brush and use it, but we're gonna try that first way. All right, so those are the first couple of swatches. Okay. We can build up the color. I wish it was a darker green. It's a little white. Now I did use my scissors to add the color instead of swiping it. That's what we're doing. I'm so happy that I decided to do this makeup test because I might have ended up winging it. Not gonna lie. Alright, so we're just gonna do this first layer. She's great! And come back. See if we can get it a little darker. Alright, so that's the first layer. Give it a little chance to dry. It looks better in person. Very splotchy on camera. But I sprayed a little bit of the fixative. No transfer on my ring, so that works. Now I'm gonna try and do a second layer. Now, I don't know if that's what I'm supposed to do, but that's what I'm doing. Let's watch a tutorial real quick. Alright, also that escalated quickly, but it was necessary because the first layer, the second layer, the third layer was looking dire. And I was like, oh, I don't think we're doing Alphaba. But I just kind of threw on kind of the contour and highlight colors just to like see. So we have some black up here on the cheekbones and some yellow also on the highlights, apples of the cheek and whatever. Got on the lipstick, did an eye. I don't love that it's shimmer. Like it's looking very gold, even though it is a green color. Yeah. So I just threw on everything just to see like how it was gonna look, and it definitely helped. This looks 100% better than what it's giving with just the green base. It was looking too light, too streaky. I also watched the video. The person suggested using a big fluffy brush, which I'm surprised I had in my stash. This one kind of sucks. The bristle, the hairs are coming out. I think I'm gonna try and find a better one, even though it's super short notice. Comic-Con is in a couple of days. I do not feel like running around. I have to take these braids out still, even though it would be great to use these braids for my Oklahoma cosplay. But I have other cosplays that I need to wear wigs for, wear my natural hair for, so I don't want to be taking them out, you know, during the convention, and then braiding my hair, washing my hair, and doing all that stuff. So these have to come out. I do have a wig, a braided wig. Yeah. This makeup, green pencil is extremely disappointing. It was very light green, almost the same color as the palette, and it kept breaking. So I will be using that, which is disappointing. Like I said, the green in this LA Girls palette, like it's just so hard to find green makeup. The green is a little too shimmery. But like I said, I can't really find a lot of green makeup, so this is just gonna have to do. I did end up using the yellow from my Danger Days palette because I was finding it difficult to blend the colors in the actual water-based palette, the Mayron palette, and that's why we have like this really sharp black, because yeah, it was too dark to try and blend. So I think I'm gonna use the black from a different eyeshadow palette when I actually do the makeup, and yeah, of course the yellow from here. The green is too light. I might try and use that. Maybe I'll put this over top the shimmer to like calm it down a little bit. It's not like flashy. She's not a flashy girl. She's a simple girl. I don't know if I like that. Anywho, y'all, this is what the makeup test is given. I'm happy with that. I only did like 2 layers on my neck, which is fine. And I did most of my face with the sponge brush, but I think I did my neck with this fluffy brush. I think we're gonna switch completely to the fluffy brush when I do it on the day. But I think we're doing Alphaba. I think she's gonna get done. So let's just see what happens. Balance. So cool. Yeah. So this is the results after one freaking layer. So the tutorial that I watched a couple, one from Jenny D, one from Allison, Tabitha, and Sarah's Basement. And what they suggested was not to get the pigment too wet. You want it creamy. So a tiny bit of water just to activate the color, and you want to mix and mix and mix until you get it creamy. You want to use a brush. I picked up this brush. The one I had was very similar, but the bristles were coming out, so I was like, let me just get a better brush. So I picked up this baby. It's pretty good for stippling, and that's, you know, another thing. You don't really want to do anything that could show like brush strokes. So I did a stippling method. Sarah's Spaceman did suggest to like get an actual paintbrush because this is paint, and, you know, do some painting motions. The other creators said to, you know, use stippling. So I did do a couple of test strokes of over here with the down. It's so bright on camera. Oh my god! I feel like a freaking mask. Wow, I can't believe how pigmented. I'll put in a before and after of like what it looked like the very first time I did it with my first layer, and this, it looks completely different. But yeah, over here I did like a test stroke of like a downward motion, and you can't really tell the difference, but yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty even. I'm gonna wait a few minutes for this to dry and go back in with another layer, and that should be good. Like, I'm so hyped, like, that I actually watched a tutorial and, you know, see the real-time results. I just did my face. Honestly, I like how the makeup came out yesterday. I don't know, it looked a little bit more natural. I mean, it looks a little darker. I don't know. I guess the more layers that I had put on yesterday, the kind of darker it became. I put on like 3 layers. This is like 2, because I got the consistency so good. But yeah, whatever. You know, I hope I have enough paint for my hands and my face and back. On actually, I have to, if I don't get the material to go on my arms, I am most likely going to have to do my forearms as well. We'll try and get that done tomorrow. I'm pretty tired. I'm gonna wipe this up, call it a night. I picked up this little Rich Room for Halloween. It is honestly not giving, so I'm gonna try and find, I think I have a handle in here. Actually, I have my gagging stuff. If I didn't do it permanently on that, I don't remember. I'll just take this off because it's already falling off and stick it on a different handle. This is so small. It's comically small. Also, this tape is also from Spirit Halloween. It is also not giving. When I had no heels on, it was, you know, down to my, you know, ankles. So this heel, it's lost a little bit of length. I wish it was just a few inches longer. But it's also not as voluminous. Like, I want it to give a, is that cool? I don't know. I got this from Spirit Halloween. So, and also the green tights. I actually really like the green tights. Oops. Kicked my cat by accident. I wish they had a bodysuit in the same color, but they didn't. But yeah, y'all, this is Alphaba. Did a little too much contour on the nose, like it kept depositing the black and I couldn't fix it. So I know I have to be super careful tomorrow. I liked how the cheek and the cheek contour came out, but not the nose. Again, I went to Spirit Halloween. I was gonna pick up the cream paint because the tutorials suggested to use the cream paint for blending purposes on top of the water-based paint. That's Spirit Halloween. Of course, all the other ones that I've been to at least 3. This one didn't have any of the cream paints, none. So I was gonna pick up a darker green cream paint. They didn't have any, and I'm not going back up tomorrow. So this will have to do. I have green contacts and green long fingernails, and that's Elphaba. So yeah, I'm finishing up putting this material over these lace bits, and that'll be it. Alright, so we're testing for Louie, Revenge Louie. We haven't really seen much of this cosplay because it's not really involved. I needed to take my braids out to see how I was liking how my fro was looking. Yeah, and it's fine. Like, this is it. Freshly washed and air dried. I've been putting a little bit of leave-in conditioner in it, and I actually like what it's doing, except for the bang situation. It won't stay where I want it to stay, pretty much. So I think I am gonna do some twists, at least in this area, to keep it a little bit more elongated. But yeah, Revenge Louie, I did seam rip the collar. I put in like 3 layers of fusible interfacing in it so that it would stand up like this. The strap is also helping. When I didn't have the interfacing in, it was still very floppy. So I'm glad that I got the fusible interfacing. I got the machete. I already have boots. I already have this jacket for Claudia, and now we just have to do. Oh, I made this shirt out of an old shirt. I might need to put an undershirt underneath it. I do see my bra outline, but the only thing really left to do is dirty it up. I'm a little bit reticent because I do like this jacket, but I kind of rationalized that I only spent like $10 on it. So I don't know. Hopefully what I use will come out. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a quick little test of like soot, blood on my face, and I think I'll just do the bloody shirt also. Just test. I will be wearing contacts with this cosplay and things and nails. I did want to get a head, Santiago's head, but I was gonna use like a wig head base with those printed face masks, but it was gonna come too late by the time I actually put in my order. But I think that would have been so fun. Just like walk around with Santiago's separate head. But this will have to do. All right, let's spray some blood on the shirt. No. That's like, Louis has like one like big long drip across his face. I was gonna try and do that with the blood gel that I have. I do think I'm gonna go over it with the blood gel. I might have to do this at the convention because I don't want to be walking around the streets like this. We're gonna get the cops called. Soot patches on my face and neck. Alright, also this day before con, I'm almost done. Today I was just doing last minute things. So I twisted my hair down to get underneath wigs nice and easy. I I was messing around with this witch broom, so I had initially just rolled some brown paper over top, but that looked kind of stupid, so I went in with some foam clay and twisted that around the paper that was already there, and then painted it brown. It's looking better, but I'm not sure that it is going to dry for tomorrow, so we'll see. I also worked on finishing Alphaba, so I put on these panels just with double-sided tape because I could not be bothered with sewing them down on the sleeves as well. I left this panel open. I don't know if it looks dumb because those two have it plus the sleeves, but I really liked that you could see my green tights through this, so that's why I left it. Be finishing up like this little loose bits for baby Lou. I'm also gonna make her hair bows, which I almost forgot about. I'm gonna work on clumping more of these curls, and then finally we're gonna work on assembling some little gift bags for the gift exchange. So I found these cute little tiny birds. They're so cute, and and these diaries. Now honestly, if I would have found these first, I probably would not have made these last year, but I still have a couple of these that I'll give out. Yeah, and then I was thinking about making some homemade stickers, but we'll see about that. But yeah, that's the little bit of stuff that I have to work on. What it's looking like. I have the little birdies. So initially it was going to be either the bird or the book, but since I have so many of these left over, and the bag was looking pretty sparse with just the little bird, I decided to just put them all together. I'm gonna try and head to bed early because I don't think I said, but I picked up my badge. The con accidentally gave me the badge that I sold. So when I DM'd the guy like, okay, don't go to will call, we can meet up, he was like, oh, I actually can't make it to convention anymore. So I resold his badge and I'm gonna give him the refund from that money. So I have to make sure that I'm up and early with my body paint done so that I can get out of the house on time to meet the girl who I sold the badge to on time. Yeah, because I don't want anybody to be waiting for me. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna want to stay in the cosplay when I head home, especially the face paint. So I have a little go bag that I'm gonna use to de-greenify pretty much on my way home. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get this done within like the next hour or two and head to bed early. But yeah, y'all, I will see you in the next vlog. Thank y'all so much for watching the video. You'll see the results in the vlog, but I will put in a couple of photos of the finished cosplays in this vlog just to round things out. But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see you